can't believe it's the middle of the year already, and we are here to talk about the best books I've read so far and the most disappointing, so you already know. Get yourself a snack or a beverage, and let's do this. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Nakia. Welcome to my channel. So yes, it's that time of year, the middle of the year, June, all that good stuff. We're here for the mid-year book freakout tag, and I can't wait to get into these tag questions. This is one of the ones I enjoy every year, and I decided to sit here at my computer because I got all the questions right here. We're gonna keep these moving, short and sweet. No need to get comfortable on the couch. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into question number one. Question number one. Best book you've read so far in 2023. So, let's see. This book I read actually in May of this year, and it has quickly rose to the top of my list so far. I can't wait to see if it's going to stay at number one by the end of this year. But it is I Will Find You by Harlan Coben. I'm so happy that I enjoyed this book because it was one of my most anticipated of this year. And if you don't know, those usually don't go well for me. I either end up not interested in them altogether, or I read them and I'm disappointed. So this one was a winner. This one is about a man who is in jail serving his 5th year of his prison sentence. He is serving time for the murder of his 3-year-old son. But he is innocent. We know this from the beginning. One day he is in jail and he gets a visitor from his sister-in-law, and he's like, what's going on? Because he told no one to come see him. He don't even want people to see him like this. He's just like, I don't deserve visitors. No point. But anyway, she shows up and she shows him a photograph. And in this photograph, there is a boy in the background. And she's like, look at this boy. And he looks at him and he determines this boy is his son and he is very much alive. So he sets out on a course to get out of jail and go on a hunt to find this son and clear his name. And he doesn't want to deal with the law. He wants to do it himself. So this book was so entertaining. It was like a movie. So like I said, best book of the year so far. I am now trying to read more things by Harlan Coben because I just enjoyed this so much. But let's move on to question number two. Question number two. Best sequel you've read so far in 2023. Well, there's a little hint here. I don't know if you can see that. Got the ring light. But it is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. If you're new here, I have just started on my Harry Potter journey. I have never read them ever in my life. So I'm just experiencing them now for the first time as an older adult, and I am enjoying them. I am doing an immersion read with the audiobook and the illustrated editions, and they are just always the highlight. But I really enjoyed Chamber of Secrets so far. It is my favorite of the series, and I have read 3 of the books so far. I'm getting ready to do the 4th one. So yes, I'm just loving the series. And again, book 2, I enjoyed. There were just so many things, secrets and mysteries and all the good stuff that goes with Harry Potter, the magic, just all of it. So let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3, new release you haven't read yet but want to. So I'm taking this question to mean any new releases that have come out from January through June that I have not gotten to yet. And a lot of them I've already looked at and scratched them off my list, or I've attempted to read them and they have been DNF'd, or I've read them and enjoyed them. But there is still one on my list that just came out this month that I am really looking forward to, and I hope it's good. And that is What Remains by Wendy Walker. It just came out June 13th. So, I mean, it just came out, but I'm still itching to get to it. I talked about this in my most recent summer TBR video. I will link it here. Short and sweet. It's about this woman who's a cop or something like that. One day she's on the scene of this incident that's going on at a department store, and she has to choose between saving one person's life and taking the other one. And the person whose life she saves ends up not being the person that she thought he was, and he's like pursuing her or something like that. I don't know, but it's a cat and mouse game, which I love in thriller books. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Question number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So many, but the way I chose this one is I looked at my list and I was like, which ones am I just so excited for? Because there's some that are on there that I'm like, I hope this is good, but I'm a little leery. But these 2, I picked 2, I'm really looking forward to. The first one is The Last One by Will Dean, coming out on August 8th. I also just talked about this in my summer TBR video, but this one is the cruise ship where all the passengers are missing, including the main woman's husband, and no one is on board except her. I'm just so intrigued. I gotta know. Gotta know. The next one you should know by now. I have talked about this book ad nauseum, but is The Second Stranger by Martin Griffin. The date got pushed back. I talked about it for the releases for the first half of this year, but they changed it to November. It is coming out November 7th. Fingers crossed. But this one I'm so looking forward to. This is the one where there's a hotel and these two strangers show up. Both strangers claim to be the cop who was transporting the criminal. The only two survivors in this accident. So which one is the cop? Which one is the criminal? And the woman who is in charge at the hotel has to figure it out because her life is also on the line. It just sounds so good. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Question number 5. Dun, dun, dun. Biggest disappointment so far this year. I'm adding that's not here. Usually a disappointment happens for me because it's an author that I already loved or the sequel to a book that I already love, and this one is no different. It is Antimatter Blues by Edward Ashton. This is book 2 in the Mickey 7 series. I don't know if there's going to be a book 3. As far as I know, it's just a duology, and that's where I think they should keep it. But I think I ended up giving this one 2.5. I don't know. I think I rounded it down to 2. I'm not sure. I wanted to DNF this one so bad. It was a buddy read with Ty from Ty's Book Corner, so she pushed me through. Luckily, she was ahead of me and she was telling me about some things that were going to happen. And when I got to those points, I was like, all right, it's getting better. The beginning, meh for me. The middle was good. The ending, fine. But it was just so disappointing because it was not the same tone as Mickey 7. I loved Mickey 7 so much. And the comedy wasn't there for me. The mystery, it was just, like I said, didn't hold up for me. So disappointing. Question number 6. Biggest surprise so far this year. This one, yeah, I would say surprising because I just picked it up on my Kindle. It was on Kindle Unlimited and I was in a slump. And I was like, what can I read? I always usually need a good mystery thriller to get me out the slump. And this one did the trick. This one is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This one takes place in the winter. There's a snowstorm. There's this couple stuck at this home that they went to go look at to purchase. But again, they get stuck there. And there was a psychiatrist who lived in this house and she has a room with tapes from her therapy sessions with her clients. And while they're stuck in this house, the woman of the couple is listening to these tapes and she will uncover secrets and lies. And that's all I got to say. It was a page turner, short, sweet chapters. It was just so much fun. It didn't need to be perfect. It was fun. The ending was even fun to me. I enjoyed every bit of it. I think I gave it 4.5 stars and that just set me off on a Frida McFadden kick. So yes, it was so surprising that I enjoyed this book so much. So that takes us to question number 7. Favorite new author, debut, or new to you? Now I will say, I felt like there was a tie between Harlan Coben and Frida McFadden, but I had to give it to Frida McFadden because I've read like 3 of her books so far this year. And I have enjoyed every book I've read from her so far. They've all at least been 3 stars. So she would be my favorite new author of this year so far. Question number 8, newest fictional crush. I wish I had an answer for this one, but I don't. I was trying to think of everything, books, TV shows, movies, and I couldn't think of anything. So unfortunately, I don't have one for this one. Question number 9. Now, this one I do have an answer for. Newest favorite character. You should already know. I am hoping to get a pop toy of this character soon, but it's Hagrid from the Harry Potter series. I am taken aback because I remember watching the movies way before I read the books clearly, and I liked Hagrid, but he didn't do anything for me. But when I read Sorcerer's Stone, I just fell in love with him, and I fall in love with him more and more each book, not in the crush kind of way, but just his character just warms my heart. I just have a soft spot for Hagrid. I just love him, and I want nothing to happen to him, even though I'm pretty sure nothing happens to him. And if something happens to him, don't you tell me. No spoilers. I will be a mess. Just know that. Question number 10. Book that made you cry. I can't believe this. None so far this year. Not that I could think of. I was trying to think like something must have made me misty. I do think maybe there was something in Prisoner of Azkaban, and I can't say because I don't want to spoil anything, but I do think there was something that made me misty. I'm pretty sure. So we'll go with that. Question number 11. A book that made you happy. All of my Berenstain Bear books, I have started reading them this year, and I looked at my Goodreads and I've read like 12 so far because they just make me so happy. I just read one today, but the one that made me happy this year was The Berenstain Bears and the Messy Room. I hope to get a copy of this one day. I borrowed it from my library, but the reason this made me so happy, for one, I love the story. Number 2, it was so nostalgic for me because when I was reading it, so many things came back to me from my childhood. This was one of my favorites as a child. I drew a picture from it in my sketchbook from back then. And I mean, just revisiting it just made me so happy because I remembered so much. So yes, The Berenstain Bears and the Messy Room. Question number 12. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. Now, if you don't know, I do not purchase many books. Most of my books I get from my library or digital copies on my Kindle by choice. I did a video recently of every single physical book I own. I will link it here. But I believe this book I purchased this year. I was looking back at some videos from 2022 and I did not see this book anywhere in the background, so I'm pretty sure this was purchased like in January of this year. But that would be my copy of Mickey 7. I already talked about this. I love this book so much, and I actually do love the cover of this book. I love the blues and the purples and just all of that. But I found this at my library where they were selling books, and this was like $5. It is in great condition. You know, I think any creasing has come from me. It's back here, but it is in excellent condition. So someone else didn't love it as much as I do, but that's all right. And we are at the last question of the tag. So, question lucky number 13. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Now, I just recently did a summer TBR video. I will link it here. That video includes a lot of the books that I hope to read by August, but let's just add a couple more for the end of the year. Most of the books that I want to read that come from like September through December are, of course, books that take place in the fall or winter time. So, Piranesi does not take place seasonally as far as I know, but it just makes me think of fall and winter. So I'm going to get to that at the end of this year. I hope. It has been at the top of my TBR list for a couple years now, but I really hope to get to it this year. We also have Death in the Family. Now I know this one takes place during a snowstorm and it is a locked room mystery, I think. So I'm really hoping to get to that. I know I'm going to get to that one by the end of this year. And also I have Exorcist House. This was also on my list for last year. I think it was one of my most anticipated books of this year or of 2022. This one I want to read this fall. I don't know if I'm going to save it for Halloween time because usually with Halloween, I like to read short story collections. I try to read novels and I just end up not staying focused. I'm more focused on movies during that time. So short story collections are better. But this one I do want to try to get to in like August or September. I read a little bit of it and I was intrigued so far. The reviews aren't that great, but I still want to read it. So hopefully I will get to that one by the end of this year. And one more I'll throw in that's not a seasonal one, but another one that is also one I have not heard the best reviews about, but I still want to check out, and that is Killers of a Certain Age. This one just seemed fun to me. It is a murder mystery book that deals with elderly people. I'm still fascinated, so I still plan to get to it, and it'll probably be towards the end of this year. So that concludes this year's mid-year freak out tag. Yeah. I love to revisit these because it's so fascinating for me to know what my answers were from the previous year. I will have the original creator of this tag linked below, Earl Grey Books, so you can go check out her video and also grab the tag questions if you so choose to do this yourself. Also, check out everyone else's videos that are doing them this time of year. These are so fun. I always love these kind of wrap up and mid-year and quarter tags. I love them because it just gives me an idea of what everyone's reading and what their tastes are like. So yeah. And you know, if you don't have a channel but you want to join in on the fun, you can answer any of these questions below, but I probably would love to know your most disappointing book of this year or the best book you've read so far this year. And also, hey, just for my entertainment, let me know if you have a fictional crush. I am curious to know because I know a lot of people don't have answers for this question. So anyone can fall in this category, a movie character, TV character, or one from a book. I'm curious. And if you want to let me know that you made it this far in the video or you just don't have an answer to any of the tag questions, you can leave me an emoji, which will go with... You know what? I'm just gonna grab something that's near me. So I have my little skeleton friend here. So you can do a skeleton or crossbones or some kind of bone emoji to let me know you made it this far in the video. And I think that is it for this video, my beautiful people. So until next time, snuggle up in your hideaway with a good book, like some of the ones in this tag video, unplug as much as possible, be kind to all kind, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.